We're going to beat up on old Donnie Jr. again, y'all. We're going to beat up on old Donnie Jr. So here he is, doing some right-wing podcast. And there's quite an admission that he makes here that I wanted to share with you guys, because there's so much to say. I mean, this is a short clip. It's not even a minute long. But, I mean, I'm going to have a field day with this, man. Like, any psychologist would have a field day with this. Let's listen.
And so what was interesting for politics for me, being where I'm from, is like, it was actually really cathartic. Now I can go do the things that I'm into.
Right.
You know, before it was like I was sort of putting on a suit and showing up to a boardroom in New York City. You know, I may have, spent the weekend at my cabin. I didn't spend a weekend in New York in probably a decade in the city, meaning I'd go up to my cabin, I'd be fly fishing, I'd be shooting, I'd be hunting. And it was like, I felt like every day I was putting on a suit, like I was faking it. Politics is vicious.
He was faking it. So in other words, he was handed this very, very, high level job in business. One of the leaders at his dad's company or companies. He was given this position by virtue of being born into the family. And he's like, look, I was faking it. Now, I mean, just stop and reflect on that for a second, right? All of his talk, he was slamming student loan debt reduction the other day, basically saying, like, look at these entitled people who want the student loan debt reduction. You want to talk about entitled? He was given probably a multi-million-dollar position just because of who his daddy was. And he's like, yeah, I was just faking it. Like, almost an admission, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't care about it. But I put on a suit and I faked it and I got a bunch of money from it. So just like the casual acknowledgement of extreme privilege because of his wealth and what he was born into, and telling you like, yeah, I was kind of a fraud, dog. I didn't like business. Don't care about it. Was faking it the whole time. I got news for you, Don Jr. You know who else has been faking it the whole time? Your dad. Definitely your dad. So wait, let's listen to the rest of it, because there's other things that I think are interesting in this.
Just as brutal as it was, as much as they, tried and continue to try to sort of destroy me and my family, it was like I was like, oh, like it was actually like I found a sort of freedom at like 38, like started almost, anew, which is not something a lot of people sort of have that opportunity to do, where again, it was very different than that business. So for me, again, as vicious as it was, I was like, this is great. Like, and, just went from there. And so
at the end there, he was talking about politics and how, it was vicious, but it was great. And I really came into my own at age 38, realizing that, oh yeah, politics is for me. So first of all, this very basic point lands with almost everybody. What kind of a psychopath do you have to be to actively enjoy doing politics, being a politician? That is the last person that you would want running the country, making decisions that affect people's lives. The last person is somebody who's like, I want the job. I want to be the leader. Because they're in it for all the wrong reasons. It's about narcissism and self-aggrandizement and stroking your own ego. So I find that super duper disturbing. The other thing is, everybody sees the like, daddy, look at me, daddy, look at me. And like, he does a bad impression of his own dad on a daily basis. And everything about that I find so sad. Oh, I hate it so much. First of all, I think almost as a matter of principle, I'm against dynasty families. Maybe you could find little examples here and there where somebody was, not bad being the son or grandson of a, former politician or whatever. But dynasty families are super sus, dog. I mean, think of the Clinton family. Think of the fucking Bushes. Like, really? You want to have dynasty families? As the eras go on and on, as a general rule, the longer you go on, the faker they get. They're just following in the footsteps, right? And look at Junior. He admitted, like, yeah, I did business because daddy does business and I was, born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I was fucking faking it the whole time, dog. Now, Junior, you might feel like you've come into your own doing politics, but you're faking that shit too. Because he doesn't know his ass from his elbow. And all he's doing is co-signing with all the, extreme right-wing rhetoric and outlets and ideology. That's all he's doing. And he's so much worse than his dad in terms of his political instincts. Like, notice Trump hasn't said anything about student loan debt elimination. Why? Because he knows it helps people. And when you come out and say, I'm against helping 43 million people, you look like a fucking dick. He doesn't have those instincts. So he just went out there and ripped it like it was it was fine. We're going to be stuck with this guy, man, for a while. You know, oftentimes I have that thought like, oh, fuck. Our entire lives, Mayor Pete is going to be in politics. Oh, fuck. I have that thought about Don Jr., too. Because you know at some point he's going to run for office. And you know at some point it's probably going to be president. He's going to run for president. At some point. At some point. But just bear in mind, his own admission here, yeah, I was faking it my entire life until 38. And then I found politics, which I love. And it's vicious, but man, I'm all about it. What kind of a psycho is all about doing politics? Actually wanting to be a politician. Think about that. Think about that. But the admission here, he's faking it. We all could have guessed that, man, because we see it. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.